Hey family, welcome back to my channel. Y'all know what it is, M World Entertainment. Today we are in Ponta Delgada, Portugal. It's a little island off of Portugal, and I'm taking you guys on a walking tour. Well, I'm on a walking tour and bring you guys along with me. So if you like these type of videos, don't forget to get a video and thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe. Check it out.
I'm just about to present it so you know what you're looking at. The beautiful St. Peter's Church for the parish of St. Peter's. You get one church. Stores. We also produce pineapples, as you can see, our rounded and short-crowned pineapples, which are very exquisite. So much that in the summer, this year they got to 12 euros a kilo. That's for about 40 euros, yes, $5 a pound, which is quite expensive. It's more expensive than some that come from Brazil and other countries that get here at lower price. But here we take care of them like babies and we grow them for 2 years. And when sampling, those who have the opportunity, if you do it side by side with one from Costa Rica or Brazil, it's a little bit like sampling cooking wine and a fine wine. And I'm not exaggerating. This is something that people share with me. Some of the other goods we have here in the Azores, we produce honey. We also have a kind of local saffron, this one here. It's not exactly the same species as the famous Spanish saffron, but it does bring about the same flavors, just not as intense and a lot cheaper. That's the real advantage. And finally, I need to present, aside from also a long standing tradition of producing fruit jams and also fruit liquors, because here everything grows very well. It's kind of greenhouse weather. So you have a plant in your garden, it always thrives. And if you have a fruit tree, it always gives a lot. So in the past, before refrigerated systems, a way to preserve the excess of fruit, and since we also had in the past sugar production, was to mix it up, creating jams or fruit liquors, just to not waste that much of fruit. Finally, a very important product, because pretty much this is salt for us in the kitchen, the local pepper sauce. This is prepared with a kind of a chili pepper, which is quite big and wide, but not that spicy. And the sauce itself, it's mostly salted. And I normally say we use this as salt in the kitchen because we put it on fish, on meat. We serve it with raw with fresh cheese. My favorite use in the kitchen is just to spray it over a chicken directly to the oven with a little bit of garlic and lemon, or straight to the barbecue with just that, because it's quite salty. And especially on this island, we use this pretty much as salt is used around the kitchen. Another detail that you may notice in the next few minutes while you wander around is that a lot of the stands are not working today, because a lot of these people that sell their goods here, mostly on Fridays, the whole day, and then Saturday mornings, are farmers themselves, and today they're working.
Can you take the pineapples on the cruise ship? I mean, do they allow that?
fresh stuff because you're going back. If you were heading to Europe, I'm not probably it would be okay. It's inside Europe. All these goods travel with no restriction, no fresh.
Okay, guys, we're at the market. The market. A lot of people is out farming right now, so a lot of the places not open. We're doing a brief look around. Take out the vegetables. They got the fruit and vegetables. The organic food. Fresh carrots, tomatoes. Got the fruit. Over here. Everything colorful.
É só alface. Podes tirar? Estás à vontade, já tenho meu aqui, podes tirar à vontade. E mais? Só?
Pineapples.
Isso aí, menina, é 3 por 50.
Qual é o senhor?
É falsificação, não é nada.
They had an area back there with fruit, but these areas is mostly vegetables and fruit. I mean, they have an area back there with fish and meat, but this area seemed to be mostly fruit and vegetables. We're checking it out. Fresh organic, fresh off the tree and off the garden. These people are Okay, guys, we're in Ponta Delgada, Portugal. We're at the little marketplace. Don't forget to thumb up the video. Don't forget to tell a friend. Don't forget to subscribe.
sei. Vê se pode ser. Não pode ser. Eu já paguei, já não. Ah, já pagou, já pagou. Vê se fica onde?
Go.
Externa, aqui está bonito. A gente está certo.
So what we're about to visit is on the grounds of this old convent. The local market was built in 1851 in what was before the backyard of this old convent. We visited the church first and someone asked me what is the dominant religion here. 96% is Roman, of the population is Roman Catholic. It's very much part of the identity of the people, not only a religious expression. The long-standing presence of several religious orders ever since we began the settlement in the middle of the 15th century here on this island, precisely in 1444, the year we had people started living on this island. This enormous presence of religious orders, but more importantly, the relationship of people with strong natural events, earthquakes, some eruptions, and also the isolation explain the strong religious feeling that people developed on these islands. It evolved to what is today part of the identity of these people. The reason why we have the market on the grounds of an old convent, in the aftermath of the Portuguese Civil War, which is of the 1830s, the religious orders, most of them supported the losing side. And of course, as a little bit of a revenge, most of those orders were simply terminated and their possessions, their properties, passed over to the Portuguese state or government, and some others passed to a couple of the few religious orders that were authorized to remain in action. Yes, in action, sorry. So it was a fight between the old absolutist regime that saw the king as God on earth and he had total power, and the liberal ideas that started with the French Revolution, the independence of the United States, that were going all over, these new ideas that gave more power to the people, that started to go about and also had an influence in our country. And this is pretty much a confrontation, and by the end it really started with they created the first constitution of the Portuguese state, which is from 1824, and the old aristocracy, supported by one of the king's descendants, say, no, we want our power back, and that's the story. It's a very simple way to resume it, but nonetheless, here the Azores was a very important place where several battles took place during that period. Just a very brief mention to this gentleman here. The most important writer of the Portuguese language is as important, Luís de Camões is as important for the Portuguese language as Shakespeare is for the English language. Okay. you were filming the fine on the car.
Oh,
Ticket, sorry, the ticket. The parking ticket we had on the winch. I think if you want to keep it on record, all of those curvies on the windows, this is, even though it's not from that period, it's inspired by the colonial style, that slight arch, very typical of colonial style, but this building is more recent than that.
why do they look like they have crosses on the window?
This was just a way to frame. For us nowadays, it's easy to produce big glass shield, big glass windows. But it was not so easy to produce. And the glass itself, it was not as resistant. So to have it framed like this, it helped. So old buildings, if you notice, always have small glass pieces.
Right.